All right, it's your boy Puffinstein, aka Spankdog at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Tick the notification bell so you know when I go live and when I post videos. BC Spankdog at Instagram and Robert Lopez at Facebook. Let's get into it. First of all, rest in peace to YNG Cheese. There was a young man who was unalive not long ago at all. This is recent. I forget on what day it happened, but the young man's name was Noah Scurry. Now, he was an athlete, and he was a star athlete, I believe. Not only was he a star athlete, they said that he scored the highest SAT scores in the school. Now, I don't know about the beefs. I don't know about what happened in them streets, but I do know that they told Gilly that Noah Scurry was the person who unalived his son. Now, I'm not going to get into that. All I'm mentioning it for is to say we got to stop the violence. When I was young, I was out there doing crazy stuff. I tell you guys that I don't want to lay my resume out there to get subscribers and views. I could tell you stories that'll make your head spin, but I don't want to. There's a time where I wish I would have been the most feared person in my neighborhood. That no longer exists in me. This is something that is given life to by street fascination, by environment. I would say the government plays a hand in keeping a certain nationality, a certain color of skin in the hood. People are crazy when they say that certain races are lazy. It's like, that is so stupid. I'm just gonna say rest in peace to both of them. The streets will eat you up. I made it by the skin of my teeth when me and my bro had to survive after my father passed away. You know, it wasn't their fault that me and Quinn were so fascinated by street stuff that we got caught up. You know what I mean? But I also, hey, what's up, Nunya? How you doing? Much love to you and your family, man. It's my brother, none your business. Like he said, none your business. So, but the streets will suck you up. School is really the way, man. I used to think school wasn't important, and I've learned that it is important. It's the most important thing in the world. You know, try to stick to them books. Try to find something that you care about, that you're passionate about. You see, they didn't teach rap in school. You get what I'm saying? So I became an incredible poet on my own. You know, it's just sad. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking a lot about politics lately. I like that, Nunya. I'm gonna highlight that real quick. My man Nunya dropped a gem on you guys real quick. Let me highlight that. It says they can take away anything you own except for your brain. And that's why you guys got to utilize your brain, but I'm going to gear off because, like I said, I've been talking about politics a lot lately. And like I said, I'm not scared to tackle any topic. It's that sometimes it's refreshing to talk about something different. I'm just so disappointed what kind of man our president is that I caught myself getting wrapped up in politics. I never thought that I would get wrapped up in politics, And like I said, in the last week, I've talked enough about politics. You guys definitely know where I stand. And it's time to talk about sports. Time to lighten it up. You know what I'm saying? It's time to talk about my favorite sport, basketball, and what's going on in the NBA. So I hope you guys are ready because I'm well versed in the NBA. Are you? All right. So like I said, you guys usually know who are the main superstars in the NBA. Jokic is always at the top lately. And I mean lately, like the last 6 years. The two people that were on his heels all the time, even the three people. Matter of fact, you got to throw SGA in there too. The four people that have been on his heels for like the last 6 years is Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is one of the most shocking superstars, in my opinion, because when I first saw Joel Embiid, I thought, no way this guy is going to be a star. He gave off the impression of being like doofy, but man, was I wrong. He's a crybaby, and I don't mean in totality. I mean, when it comes to the court and how he approaches the game, even how he approaches the media, it's not just a crybaby. He's a sore loser. and he's a troll. So I don't think that that's him in his personality, him as a human being. I think the sports brings out not just the competitiveness. I think it brings out the sore loser in people. And until you stop being a sore loser, that doesn't mean you're supposed to be okay with losing. But there's a way to attack winning without being a hater. You know, and when you call yourself Troel Embiid, most likely things ain't gonna go well. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's name the other players that have been on Jokic's heels for the last 6 years. Luka Doncic. I said Joel Embiid already. I said Giannis Antetokounmpo. But Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an absolutely phenomenal player. He has like a slinky style of play, and I don't know. He is so crafty. The numbers he puts up are out of this world. The other people I want to mention are people like Jason Tatum. They don't give Trae Young enough credit. The Nuggets have won 9 in a row. You know, now that's scary for the rest of the NBA because they already got a ring with the same exact unit. They were having a little trouble, I believe, at one point in the season, but they're not having no trouble right now. They're slicing and dicing teams. What I'm going to do right now is, just so you know, that I'm serious when it comes to who are the best players in the world. I will share this page for a second. They're really in their zone right now. Like when the NBA teams hit the All-Star break, the second half of the season is really, I would say it's more exciting to watch than the first half of the season because their adrenaline is going, they're back in shape, they're getting closer to the playoffs, so they're more hungry. We're going to see who's taking winning seriously right now. All right, guys, so let me share this. I'm glad. All right, there we go. All right, so like I said, we're going to take a look at the top players. I'm going to shrink the screen a little bit so we could get more players onto the screen. That's the top 20 right there. That's good enough. All right. And these are the season leaders by ESPN rating. All right. So the rating you can see is all the way at the end. And like I told you, if you look over here, Jokic is first, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Anthony Davis is not usually there. Karl Anthony Towns is not usually there. And Victor Wembanyama is not there in his rookie season, but in his second season, Victor Wembanyama is the 5th best player in the world. Let that sink in. I haven't seen that since Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic came out. He had a great rookie season. I'm pretty sure he won Rookie of the Year. And then in the second year, he did the same thing Victor Wembanyama did. He moved into the top 10. Now, Victor Wembanyama is just, it's like too good to be true. If you're the Spurs, right, it's like you got Tim Duncan again. And to be honest with you, Tim Duncan, and he was fundamentally sound to the point where he won 5 rings, you know, and he almost had more. He lost against LeBron. I don't know if they lost again in the finals, but he had the opportunity of winning 6 rings and maybe more. So the Spurs have struck gold again. Take a look at Victor Wembanyama's stat line in just his second year. Victor Wembanyama is averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Look at these blocks, people. Could you really take a look at this? Now, I highlighted it blue. 3.8 blocks per game. That is hard to do. And I would believe he is the league leader in blocks. Now, let's check my theory, because if you click on this, it'll sort it by the leaders in block. Let's see what happens. Yeah, he's not just the leader in blocks. He's the leader in blocks by a whole block per game. The second place, which is, you need to pay attention to this too, because Chet Holmgren is number 2, and he's also a very young player, and he's averaging 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game, and he's shooting close to 50%, Chet Holmgren. So Chet Holmgren is, you know, he's a stud, but look at the difference in blocks between him, Chet Holmgren, Walker Kessler. Anthony Davis is averaging 2.2 blocks per game, you know, and he's a veteran. Victor Wembanyama is only a second-year player, and he's almost averaged 4 blocks per game. That is insane. All right, so we're going to switch it back to the regular way. All right, so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now is the 3rd best player on the planet. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging almost 33 points per game, and he's putting up Jordan 6 and 6 type rebound and assists, because Jordan was always like 36 and 6. You get me? 30 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and crazy efficient, and probably always in the leaders and steals, you know. But and that's me just, you know, to lead the league in steals is hard when you're pushing 36 and 6. You get what I'm saying? But I do believe Jordan was that good a player where not only was he averaging 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists on the regular, he also, I believe, would be in the top 20 in steals every year at least. So the steal thing, don't quote me on that. So but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, people, like, this is insane. He came out in the same year as Luka, you know, and Luka Doncic is over here. He's hurt, you know. Luka Doncic, when they traded him, he's not 100% healthy. You know, I don't know if that played a role in the trade. It might have, it might not have, you know. And then Anthony Davis is going through injury problems. So they're both, Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic are not exactly the two healthiest players on the planet. But Luka Doncic is very young, you know, and Anthony Davis is older than him by a couple of years. And I think that the Mavericks messed up, but I think they panicked. I think they started wondering if Luka Doncic started doing, you know, exhibiting the behavior that Zion has exhibited, that they would lose while they got the chance to get a defender and a big man, and they made the move. But I would never give away Luka Doncic unless I knew there was something wrong with him, you know. And I'm hoping, if you look at Jason Kidd's face, I don't think there's nothing wrong with Luka except that he's hurt for the moment. I don't think he's suffered some injury nobody knows about, and that's why they got rid of him. No, because Jason Kidd's face when he was at the press conference, he looked like he was so angry. You're reading a person's facial expression, so you don't even know if you got it right or not. You get what I'm saying? If you ask me how Jason Kidd looked when they traded Luka Doncic, he looked furious, in my opinion. You know, here's some. Oh well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just crazy. 32.5 points per game, 6.1 assists per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and these 2 steals per game are significant. Not to mention he has a block per game. He is a hungry hustler. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, big shout out to SGA. You know, big shout out to Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo every year. Funny thing is, both of them only have 1 ring each. I mean, not only, that's a big thing. The top 3 of the top 4 players have rings, you know. Now, you know I'm from New York, so you know I want Karl Anthony Towns to win this year. I'm a Knicks fan through and through. Brooklyn Nets directly, not even after. It's a tie, you know. It's just that the Knicks were in New York way longer than Brooklyn, so I have a soft spot for the Knicks. And probably if the Knicks faced the Nets in the conference finals, I would probably root for the Knicks. If the Nets won, it would be win-win for me. No matter whether the New York Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets win, I win. I tell you this too because I talked to you guys about how Luka Doncic is my new favorite player because LeBron James is about to be out of here. How could you say LeBron James is about to be out of here, right? While Luka Doncic is only 25 years old, let's say, he's injured, while LeBron James at 40 years old is healthy. That is insane. Look at LeBron's stats, right? And you tell me what you think about those stats right there for a 40-year-old man. How could you say it's over? It's not. Now, I don't know when his body will give out finally to the point where they're like, you know, he can't do it no more. But right now, unless he has some sort of really significant injury, this man is crushing it. 25 points per game, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, shooting above 50% from the field while knocking down 2.3 3-pointers per game. And he still gets a steal per game for people who act like he don't hustle no more. He still hustles. Now, it is good to see that he gets 1 steal per game because that means he's moving. But LeBron James is just special, man. He really is there with Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Mind you, I wasn't a Michael Jordan fan. I did like Michael Jordan, but LeBron James LeBron James was my favorite player, while Michael Jordan has never been my favorite player. And I'll still admit that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. Sorry to my other LeBron fans, but if you say LeBron is better than Michael Jordan, you're living a lie, you know. And this is coming from a person who LeBron James was his favorite player, and Michael Jordan was never his favorite player. So I just don't live in lies. I'm not biased. I'm not gonna say LeBron was a better career basketball player than Mike when Mike went to 6 finals and won all 6 finals, never lost, and won 6 finals MVPs. Not to mention the amount of scoring titles he won. Like, just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron is doing things that Michael Jordan couldn't do also. So you have to also take into consideration the accomplishments that LeBron has achieved that Mike didn't. Like making 11 finals appearances or 10 finals appearances, even though he lost. Mike didn't even make it to 10. LeBron made it to 10. So that's not a negative. That's a positive for LeBron. Regardless whether he lost or not, Mike went to 6, won 6. But he didn't make it to 7. LeBron made it to 7, 8, 9, and 10, which means he went further than Michael Jordan 4 more times. All right, now this is the really, you guys are going to trip off of this one. For people who don't watch basketball constant, this would surprise them. Take a look at this. Domantas Sabonis, 9th best piece. Actually, he's tied for 8th with Luka. I never thought I'd see the day that Domantas Sabonis is playing as good as Luka Doncic. But he is. He's not in 9th. He's tied with Luka for 8th with the exact same ESPN rating. 47.0, 47.0. I've been telling people Domantas Sabonis he's underrated. He's a problem. Let's see his stats. While he's not the most elite scorer, he has 20 points per game and he's averaging 15 rebounds. He's definitely the rebound leader. You know, I'm not sure, but just like I did with Victor Wembanyama when I sorted it by blocks, I was right about him being the block leader, even though I'm guessing. Let's see. Yeah, I told you he'd be number 1. Look at Karl Anthony Towns at number 2. All right, guys, so take a look, man. You can say everything you want that Domantas Sabonis is not the greatest scorer. Well, he's the greatest rebounder, though. 14.6 rebounds per game. He will win the rebounding title if he keeps this up. And while he's averaging 20 points and 15 rebounds, he's averaging 6 assists. That is insane. All right, and then there's another person that I definitely got to highlight for you people, all you NBA fans out there, you know, check out our boy Cade Cunningham. You know, and the only one injured in the top 10 right now is Luka. Matter of fact, before we do that, let's check Luka and see if he's activated yet. No, he's still out. All right, they want him to get healthy before they even let me read what that said too. I shouldn't have did that. Okay, status. 20 hours ago, Doncic injury management has been ruled out for Thursday's game against the Trailblazers. Don Woke of the Los Angeles Times reports. All right, so Doncic is gonna miss Thursday's game. See, Thursday's game. Was he talking about yesterday's game? The status. All right, Thursday's game. Let me see. Yeah, there's a chance they were talking about yesterday's game. I'll come back and check on Lucas. All right, so now we're back to them being sorted by ESPN rating. Now, Cade Cunningham is just insane. You know, good for you, Cade Cunningham. I know he struggled when he first came out, but this man is averaging 25 points a game with 10 assists, and he's still pulling down 6 rebounds per game. You know, big applause for Cade Cunningham, man. He's ahead of Jason Tatum. You know, Jason Tatum's another person that I want to talk about. He got his first ring. He's the best player on the team. Even though Jaylen Brown, for that stretch of time when they won the ring, he did outperform him slightly, you know. But to be fair, Jason Tatum is the better player in my opinion. And yeah, big shout out to Jaylen Brown though. There's no hate there. Without Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum don't get his first ring, and vice versa. Without Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown don't get his first ring. You know, not to mention that amazing performance by Kristaps Porzingis. I think he dropped 41 in the playoffs. If Kristaps Porzingis could be healthy, he is a unicorn. He is like Victor Wembanyama. Before I seen Victor Wembanyama, I had never seen such a great player that was 7'3", 7'4". You get me? Like Kevin Durant is the greatest tall player ever. You know, I mean, as far as like, you know, it depends too because LeBron is tall, you know, but you know, Kevin Durant is the type of player that if you can get a 7-footer to play like Kevin Durant, you struck gold, you know. So it's funny that I said that because right after Jason Tatum is Kevin Durant, you know. Damian Lillard moved up to the 13th spot. Damian Lillard, he's a wrecking ball. He's a 6-foot wrecking ball. Now, let's check on Damian Lillard's true height. 6'2". That's not a ton of hype, you know, and he wasn't high in the rankings. He was probably 30. He climbed all the way up there with my man Trae Young at number 16. Trae Young is just crazy. You know, Trae Young, right? He was shooting like 35% at the beginning of the year, right? And I told my wife, I said, that's not going to stay like that. He wasn't even in the top 50 early in the year. Then I seen him pop up in like the 46th slot, then the 43rd slot, then the 35th slot. And I'm like, I told my lady, I'm like, it's going to keep going up. So right now, he made it all the way from not even being in the top 50 to the 16th best player in the world. And that 35% field goal percentage is now 41%. And mind you, he shoots a large amount of 3-pointers, which means he's knocking down 3-pointers a game, which means he's taking about 8 3-pointers per game. But Trae Young is just amazing. People do not give Trae Young enough props, and I'm certain it's because he's a mighty mouse, because he's little. And you know, it's time to stop, you know, how you call it, discriminating against little guys. The numbers are the numbers. Like, I'll prove my point to you right now. No matter what you say about Damian Lillard, no matter what you say about Trae Young, no matter what you say about Jalen Brunson, and even Devin Booker is not the tallest. These guys are all in the top 20, putting up astronomical numbers. The first person I'd point out would be Damian Lillard. You know, I can't say Shea Joe just because he's 6'5", 6'6", you know. So the first little guy on the list this year is Damian Lillard, who's putting up 25 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds with 1 steal per game. Now, LaMelo Ball, we're going to have to check my homie LaMelo. I'm going to click on this. Keep your fingers crossed that he's active. He's out. You know, injury problems can be they drive me crazy because LaMelo Ball is supposed to be a star. He is a star. You know, he's having a rough first couple of years as far as staying on the court. But I've seen this happen before, you know. Hopefully he gets better soon. It says LaMelo Ball status. Ball is out for Thursday's game against the Nuggets due to right ankle. You definitely want to take care of that. You don't want the kid to lose any hops. You know, not playing him until that injury is fully healed. All right, we're going to talk about somebody right now, too, that is underrated. I don't know why Philadelphia. He's still with Philly. You know, big shout out to Tyrese Maxey. He's one of the best players in the NBA. He came out with LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, a lot of good players, Desmond Bane. And there's a few in that draft, you know. But Onyeka Okongwu sometimes shows signs of brilliance, you know. But Tyrese Maxey, he's amazing. I'm glad that he's healthy. He's averaging 27.3 points per game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. And I want to check Tyrese Maxey's height. If I got it right, he's 6'3", 6'4", 6'2". Okay, I gave him a little more height. Yeah, so anything 6'2" and under, I put them as a little guy. So it's more impressive. So you got to throw him in there. Let's check Devin Booker's height because I think he's 6'4". Oh no, Devin Booker's 6'6". He's not a little guy. You know, he just gives off the impression that he's tinier. All right, look, so we got Jokic number 1, Giannis number 2, SGA number 3, Anthony Davis number 4, Victor Wembanyama number 5, Karl Anthony Towns number 6, LeBron James number 7 in the world. These are all from 1 to 7, the best players in the world. Luka Doncic is at number 8, but he's hurt and he's he's missed 25 games for the season already. But this is the first year that this has happened. So he is an Iron Man. You know, even though he's flabby at times or whatever, he's not missed hardly no games for his whole career. So Domantas Sabonis is number 8, also tied with Luka, but he has the full 52 games played. Number 10 is Cade Cunningham. Number 11 is Jason Tatum. Number 12 is Kevin Durant. Number 13 is Damian Lillard. Number 14 is LaMelo Ball. Number 15 is Tyrese Maxey. Number 16 is Trae Young. Number 17 is Jalen Brunson. Number 18 is Anthony Edwards. Number 19 is Zion Williamson, but he's only played 18 games. And I don't know what's going on. Let's check Zion Williams. Anthony Edwards is a beast. He should be higher than 18th though, but he does let the game come to him in a sense. So I'm not really worried about Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards problem. All right, he's active. Zion Williamson. Oh, that's a blessing that he's active. He weighs 284. That's not a good look. Even though a 6'6" man at 4, I'm 250 and I'm only 5'9". So he's got me by almost 10 inches, and he's still only 284. He's not like super overweight, but he's overweight, you know. And let me see when the last time he played. Wednesday, 2/12. All right, the last time he played was on the 12th against Sacramento. 28 minutes, 33 points. You know, he's got to get in shape. He has what it takes to be a great player, but you know, he doesn't play enough games. They're 50 something games into the season right now, and he's only got 18 games under his belt. That's not a good look. You know, we'll see how the rest of the season pans out. I don't want to get on Zion's case, go back. So, like I said, I named everybody. This is your top 20. When I stopped at Zion, Devin Booker was the only person I had left. Now, we're going to go to the bottom 30. Showed you the top 20. This is the top 50 of the best players in the NBA, and we're going to knock this out quick. For people who've seen me do this before, this is the routine. All right, we're going to be quick with this. 21, De'Aaron Fox. 22, Joel Embiid, but him, like Zion, has only played 18 games. Franz Wagner. I'm high on Franz Wagner, man. I like him. But De'Aaron Fox, 21. Joel Embiid, 22, but he don't count because he hasn't played enough games. 23, Franz Wagner. 24, Kyrie Irving. 25, James Harden. 26, Tyler Herro. 27, Jalen Johnson. What a sleeper. Go out there and get your Jalen Johnson rookie cards. He's arrived. You know, hopefully he stays healthy. That's the only thing that could stop him. I was watching Jalen Johnson since he came out, and Jalen Johnson, I think he came out with Cade Cunningham. But ever since Jalen Johnson came out, I thought he was a very good basketball player. 28, Stephen Curry. 29, Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is another guy that I like that people didn't know was going to be this good. 30, Nikola Vucevic, another guy who's underrated. You know, 31, Alperen Sengun. He's somebody that I like a lot too. 32, Donovan Mitchell. I wish Donovan, you know what though? I ain't going to say nothing about Donovan Mitchell because he's a team player. Donovan Mitchell's never been the kind of guy to go for the scoring title because he wants fame. Donovan Mitchell is a team player. You know, he's been in the playoffs almost every year that he's been in the league, if not every year. You get what I mean? Donovan Mitchell's a winner. You know, the furthest he's made it, I think, was to the conference semis, you know, but still, I see good things for Donovan in the future as long as he stays healthy. Look at my guy, Zach LaVine, moving into 33rd place. That gets me so hyped. 48 games played for Zach LaVine this year. 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal per game. This is good. You know, for people who follow Zach LaVine, they know that he's been, you know, he struggles with injury a little bit, but right now he's doing his thing and I'm happy. Look at Evan Mobley. This is why Donovan Mitchell is not in the top 10 is because he passes the ball. You know, Evan Mobley, the Cavaliers are just a great team. Evan Mobley's let's just keep going. 33 is Zach LaVine, 34 is Evan Mobley, 35 is Jaylen Brown. This is why I tell you guys that Jaylen Brown, even though he won finals MVP, Jason Tatum is the 10th best player in the world. Jaylen Brown is the 35th best player in the world. That's a 25 slot difference, you know, and this is every year. So it's not like I want the guy I like better, because I am more of a Jason Tatum is more of my favorite player than who was I comparing him to? Oh, Jason Tatum is just better than Jaylen Brown. You know, clutch. Maybe when it comes to clutch time, maybe Jaylen Brown is clutch. You know what I mean? But you know, Jason Tatum, don't forget what he was doing in his first conference finals when he he dunked it on LeBron, and I think he boarded his shot too. But I'm just saying, I love Jaylen Brown. I just think Jason Tatum is way better. Not way better, but significantly better. Now let's just keep going. Jalen Williams. A lot of people sleep on Jalen Williams or don't know him because he wasn't famous coming out the gate. You know, as far as like coming into the NBA. But Jalen Williams is a problem. All right, so let's go back. 33 Zach LaVine, 34 Evan Mobley, 35 Jaylen Brown, 36 Jamal Murray, 37 Jalen Williams, 38 Jaren Jackson Jr. Wow, Jaren Jackson Jr. is better than another underrated player. Darius Garland, another underrated player. RJ Barrett, another underrated player. So now we're gonna name the last 10 on the list. 41 is Pascal Siakam. 42 is Paolo Banchero, but he got hurt and he would have been doing much better, except he hasn't played in enough games. You know, Trey Murphy the third. You know, I always liked him too, and he's making his mark right now. He's in 43rd place, but you know, like I said, Trey Murphy the third wasn't talked about like that, putting up 22 points per game. You know, yeah, Trey Murphy the third is averaging 22 points per game. So Brandon Ingram is the 44th best player on the planet right now, but he's hurt also. So, but he's the last player that's hurt. I don't believe Tyrese Halliburton is all the way in 45th place. He was in the top 10 last year, Tyrese Halliburton, and he's dropped 35 slots. This I don't understand. You know, he's got to work on scoring, but other than that, he's doing good. I mean, see, this is what I don't understand. The assists are there, but the rebounding is not. Last year, not only did he score better, he rebounded way better. You know, this is a little sad for me. Tyrese Halliburton, if you see this, you gotta put in some work, man. You shouldn't have dropped all the way from the 8th best player last year to 45th best player. I think he's just having a bad season. You gotta remember he's young. Remember when I told you the Anthony Edwards LaMelo Ball rookie year is chock full of stars? Well, we talked about Desmond Bane, and we talked about Tyrese Maxey. Well, Tyrese Halliburton is another person from that draft, and I believe he just had an off year. He's only been in the league like 3 years. I think he'll be coming back next year. Look at Josh Hart from the New York Knicks. You know, he's averaging 9-10 rebounds per game. Josh Hart, he's a hustler. He's one of those guys that throws himself on the floor and does whatever he can. And I don't mean like Patrick Beverly. I mean 15 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game with 1.5 steals per game. Josh Hart is having a phenomenal year. Ivica Zubas, another sleeper. See, this is what I don't understand. Ja Morant right now is the 48th best player in the world. Something ain't right, you know. See, like, just like I said about Tyrese Halliburton, I feel the same way about Ja Morant. Ja Morant came out in 2019, right? And Tyrese Halliburton came out the year after him. So I think they're just young guys struggling for a certain year. But Ja Morant and Tyrese Halliburton played out of the, you know, they just played amazingly early on. You know, they're entitled to having a year where they got to figure out what's going on. 49 Bam Adebayo and 50 Miles Bridges. You know, Miles Bridges went through all that stuff. You know, he was looked at as the bad guy in the situation when he got into the domestic violence thing. But whatever has happened with Miles Bridges is now in the past. I think the case is over and it's time for him to get his basketball on, and he's making his mark. You know, even though 50th place is not 10th place for a man who went through what he went through, and having a teammate like LaMelo who's struggling with injuries, Miles Bridges is doing good right now. Now, real quick too, I wanted to take a look at the standings to see how all of this factors into the records. So we heard how good the top 50 players are doing. Garland. Now let's see how that translates into team record. All right. So look at that. This is why I said for people worried about their favorite player being the best player, the top 5 player, that doesn't matter if you're not winning rings, you know. And one thing I'll tell you, you've seen Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell floating around. I forgot what spot it was. I'll tell you right now. 33 and 32 and 34. But if you notice, they're in first place. Oh, and Darius Garland was there also. So that's how you know there's chemistry, because Donovan Mitchell used to be all the way up towards the top of the best players. Right now, he's in the 32nd slot, but right there with him is at 34 Evan Mobley, and at 37 Darius Garland. So there's 3 Cleveland Cavaliers all at 32nd, 34 and 37. That's chemistry. That's not worrying about who's in the top 5 best players in the world, top 10. That is chemistry. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley have the best record on the East, and all 3 of them are in the top 50. That's fantastic. And not to mention, you would see Jared Allen in the top 50 at times, you know, and there's somebody else on their team that I'm forgetting that's really good. So, but like I said, this is how it translates. Instead of having 1 or 2 guys in the top 50, they got 3 guys in the top 50. They share the ball, and you notice their record is 45 and 10. That's a great record. You know, that's a really good record. You know, of course, they're not going to win the rest of their games, but, you know, they're on pace to only lose 15 games. They're about to go, 67 and 15? If they could keep up a good winning percentage. Next is the Boston Celtics. You know, they have a good team all around also, but Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum anchor that team 100%. New York Knicks, well, first of all, let's say the records. Cleveland Cavaliers are 45 and 10. Boston Celtics are 40 and 16. And the New York Knicks are 37 and 18 in third place in the Eastern Conference. And as you've seen, they have 3 players in the top 50 as well. They have Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and Josh Hart. That's why teams like that do so good. I'm so happy the Knicks are just, you know, they're doing so good right now. The Indiana Pacers, see, even though I just mentioned that Tyrese Halliburton is having not a bad year. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Bad compared to last year, because he scorched it. He literally finished 8th or 9th in the world last year, something like that. And now he's in the 40th spot. He's in the 45th spot, I think we just said. But between him and there's gotta be somebody else. Let me see this real quick, people. I'm looking to see if there's another Pacer. Okay, Pascal Siakam. I skipped over him by accident. Pascal Siakam is the 41st best player in the world right now, and Tyrese Halliburton is the 45th best player in the world right now. But they are the only 2 Indiana Pacers in the top 50, yet they're 4th in the Eastern Conference with a 31 and 23 record. So you can't even really say nothing about Tyrese Halliburton until them playoffs come, because regular season, as long as you perform well enough for your team to get a decent spot in their conference for the playoffs, you know, that's a good thing. So let's see what Tyrese Halliburton does in the playoffs, you know, or for the rest of the season for that matter. You know, it's obvious they shouldn't have given away Domantas Sabonis. All right, so the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, I'm surprised that Giannis has a record of 30 and 24, but I would imagine Chris Middleton is hurt. You know, I would look it up right now, but when you get a chance, look for yourself, so this way I don't gotta drag this out. The Detroit Pistons and Cade Cunningham, 29 and 26, and then we got the playing teams: Orlando Magic, number 7, Miami Heat, number 8, Atlanta Hawks, number 9, Chicago Bulls, number 10. Now, real quick, we'll talk about the Orlando Magic. That would be Franz Wagner on the Orlando Magic. Paulo Banchero is hurt and they're still doing good. Hopefully he comes back in time for the playoffs, and him and Franz Wagner and anybody else that's on the Orlando Magic that I'm forgetting for now, can make some noise. I'm not rooting for everybody, but I do, I love the NBA so much. I'm just, dissecting what could happen. But, I'm always rooting for the Knicks, LeBron and Luka, and Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks first, and then Luka and LeBron, So, but when you look at the standings, you notice that, Orlando Magic are staying afloat because of Franz Wagner. Miami Heat are being carried, believe it or not, by Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is an underrated player, and Tyler Herro is an underrated player. There's times where people were telling me Duncan Robinson was better than Tyler Herro. I'm like, you need to get drug tested. So, Franz Wagner's the big dog on Orlando. Miami Heat got Bam and Tyler Herro. Atlanta Hawks got Trae Young is the big dog right there. What's his name? The one they traded for. I like John Collins too. So DeJounte Murray, I don't know if he's hurt right now. I gotta catch back up on the NBA a little bit. I got so into the political thing, and I was working on the Quantum documentary and the Big Daddy Kane short documentary that I lost touch with basketball a little bit, but I never lose touch like that. And even the Super Bowl, I was into the football statistics and records for a while too. So, but big shout out to Jalen Hurts, man, winning the Super Bowl. Big shout out to Saquon Barkley. What's his name? Devontae. Forget the other. There's two wide receivers that I like that are on. AJ too is the other one. I forget their names. Is it AJ Brown? And Devontae Smith. I forget. Devontae Adams. I get those two confused. So, but yeah, Franz Wagner is carrying the Magic. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro carrying the Heat. I don't know what's going on with DeJounte Murray, but Trae Young is playing good enough where they're in the play-in spot. And Zach LaVine is also playing well enough with Nikola Vucevic to be in the play-in spot. Now, I just want to make sure that Nikola Vucevic is still on Chicago. What happened to Vucevic? Give me 1 second, people. Oh, there you go. Yeah, between Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, they got themselves a play-in spot. Not the greatest position, 10th in the Eastern Conference, but we'll take it. I am a Zach LaVine. Well, I like Zach LaVine as a player a lot, and to see Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine carrying Chicago. Oh, Zach LaVine plays for Sacramento now. Glad I caught that. All right, so Chicago. If it's just Vucevic, let me see. Like I said, I'm catching up. Forgive me if I got the team wrong for a second, but yeah. Right now, the only one carrying Chicago is Vucevic to have that 10th spot. All right, time to go to the other conference. We'll take a look at the people in the bottom. Joel Embiid not only is hurt, his team is not even in the play-in spot. The Brooklyn Nets, they're not doing good. Toronto Raptors, no, horrible. Charlotte Hornets, horrible. Washington Wizards, horrible. I'll give you their records. Philadelphia 76ers, 20-35. Brooklyn Nets, 20-35. They are also close to grabbing a 10th spot for the play-in. So to be fair, Brooklyn Nets and the 76ers still have a prayer. Once you get to the Toronto Raptors, there's no hope. So the Toronto Raptors are 17-38. The Charlotte Hornets are 14-40. And the Washington Wizards are 9-45. They're done. All the teams I just talked about, the Raptors, the Hornets, and the Wizards, will catch you guys next year. Let whoever's hurt heal up. Okay, now we're off to the Western Conference. Oklahoma City Thunder. What more could we say about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? It is Shai Gilgeous, by the way. I learned it now. I still says Shai Gilgeous earlier, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is remarkable. You got to remember too that kid Jalen Williams I told you guys about. A lot of people don't know about him. He's a big factor. And then remember I told you Chet Holmgren is second in block shot while averaging 15 points, 10 rebounds with 3 block shots per per game. So you got Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and Big Dog, SGA. All right. You gotta give love to the top team. You know what I'm saying? On each conference, because they definitely got things going in every way, shape, and form. So big shout out to Cleveland Cavaliers, #1 on the East Coast. Big shout out to Oklahoma City Thunder, #1 on the West Coast. Now, what's crazy is the Celtics are closer to taking over the Cavaliers #1 spot than Jokic, and the Nuggets are close to taking SGA's spot because they have 9 more losses than the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they have 7 more wins. So while Oklahoma City Thunder is 44-10, and Denver Nuggets are in second place at 37-19, being 8 games back from the first spot, it's a big margin. So I don't see Denver grabbing the #1 spot, because remember, they're on a 9-game winning streak, and yet they're still 8 games behind the Thunder. When do you think that the Thunder are going to get hot and the Nuggets are going to cool off? That should be right around now or coming soon. So I predict that the Thunder will keep the #1 slot till the playoffs come. And as hot as the Nuggets are, and they do have a chance at taking the #1 slot if they keep playing like this, 9 wins in a row, I don't think it's gonna happen. Memphis Grizzlies, 36-19, man. They're doing great. Even though John Morant isn't producing as much as he was before the gun charge, he is still on a team that's 36-19, and Jaren Jackson has stepped up big time to the point where he might be a consistent all-star. Big shout out to Jaren Jackson. I don't know what's going on with Desmond Bane. I'm gonna check that out. On another note, y'all guys could check on Desmond Bane, see what he's doing. But right now, I see John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. as the 2 leaders of the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the #4 team is the Houston Rockets. Oh wow, you get the applause for that. That's Jalen Green. What's his name? Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna cheat. Let's go to their roster. I gotta know this. All right, roster. Rastafari. No, I'm just playing. Big shout out to all my dreads out there. All right, let's see how they are in 4th place. Well, Tari Eason I always thought was good. Jalen Green is good. Alperen Sengun. What's crazy is Alperen Sengun is the best player on the team. Jalen Green probably is a better scorer, but Alperen Sengun is a better all-around player for now. That doesn't mean that Jalen Green doesn't come out of nowhere and start becoming a better rebounder and a better passer, because he is a high-flying scorer, Jalen Green. For people who don't know, now you know. Tari Eason has potential to be a great player, and Alperen Sengun is holding it down. Big shout out to them, man. Dylan Brooks is even though he's Dylan the villain could shoot the 3. I mean, he could really shoot the 3-pointer, and Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr., Jason Tate, Amon Thompson, Fred Van Vliet. Yeah, they got a good all-around team. Let me tell you something. Fred Van Vliet got a ring. Amon Thompson is a defensive beast. Jason Tate is a good player. Jabari Smith Jr. might be a future superstar. Jalen Green is a star. Tari Eason has star potential, and you already know Alperen Sengun's that dude, and Dylan Brooks could shoot 3. They have a very good team. All right, now I understand what's going on, because their roster and their starting 5 have changed in the last 2 years a lot, Let me go back one more. All right, this is the standings. We're back to, I went back too far. All right, now we're back at the standings. All right, so the top 4 teams, y'all guys, I already told you. Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't think they're getting knocked out of that spot. Denver Nuggets Denver Nuggets and the Memphis Grizzlies and even the Houston Rockets are fighting for that 2nd and 4th spot. So the 2 through 4 are kind of close. Denver's 37-19, Memphis is 36-19, and the Houston Rockets are 34-21, but that's only 2 games out of Memphis and only 2.5 games out of Denver. That's doable. The LA Lakers are in 5th place. That that, I'm happy about, because my two favorite players are both on the Lakers. The LA Clippers, Kawhi and Paul George, I believe, are still on the Clippers. Neither of them are in the top 50, but yet they're in the sixth spot. So they're right now, if the year were to end, they'd be guaranteed a playoff spot. Now, Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis in the Dallas Mavericks, De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings, and Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and the Golden State Warriors in the 10th spot. That's 7 through 10. 7 is Minnesota, 8 is Dallas, 9 is Sacramento, 10 is Golden State Warriors. Those are your 4 play-in teams on the West. Now, we're just going to have to wait for the rest of the season to pan out to see how everything looks when the full 82 games are played and the season is over. And that's the picture. That's the NBA picture right now, guys, in a nutshell. Now, the Phoenix Suns can slip into the 10th spot. There's hope for them. The San Antonio Spurs can slip into the 10th spot. There's hope for them to make a play-in spot also, like the Suns. But then after that, it gets kind of grim. I don't see the Trailblazers, the Utah Jazz, or the Pelicans making it. Well, first of all, the Trailblazers are the one that could maybe creep into a play-in spot. But as far as the Utah Jazz and the New Orleans Pelicans, good luck next year, And that's the NBA in a nutshell, people, I just seen somebody write, I can't pronounce his name, but I'm going to highlight your comment, because he's right. International basketball is just amazing right now. If you look at the top 10 players, about 8 of them, about 6 of them are from the overseas. Even if you talk about Joel Embiid, he's from Cameroon. Let me take a quick look and I'll tell you right now. If you talk about the best players in the world, a lot of them are international. So I'm going to deal with the top 10, right? Nikola Jokic, international. Giannis Antetokounmpo from Greece, international. SGA, American. Anthony Davis, American. Victor Wembanyama, I get France. So 3 out of the top 5 players in the world are international. Karl Anthony Towns, American. LeBron James, American. Luka Doncic, Slovenian. Domantas Sabonis, I forget his nationality, but I know he's from a European country. Cade Cunningham, America. Jason Tatum, America. Kevin Durant, America. Damian Lillard, America. LaMelo Ball, America. Tyrese Maxey, America. Trae Young, America. Jalen Brunson, America. Anthony Edwards, America. All the way America until you get to Joel Embiid, but he's hurt, but there's still a lot. I mean, Franz Wagner, Nikola Vucevic, Alperen Sengun, who else? Pascal Siakam, international. Vika Zubats, international, I believe, but yeah, the international players are amazing. I'm gonna hide this comment, but yeah, that many people have basketball in Serbia running deep in their blood. Basketball there made people very happy during the war in Yugoslavia. Yo, big shout out to you, brother. I can't pronounce your name. I'm going to highlight your comment again, but that's much respect. Thank you for chiming in. And I agree with you. Plus, like I said, man, we're human beings. All right, look, I've been covering politics a little bit recently, right? I've told people, don't label me a Democrat. Don't label me a Republican. Don't label me liberal. Don't label me extreme left, extreme right. Don't label me shit. Label me a human being. I'm part of the human party. I'm not part of the Democratic Party, and I'm not part of the Republican Party. I'm part of the human party. All right. And just wanted to make that clear, man. You're supposed to do the right thing, whether you're Republican or Democrat. So all this separatism and stuff, Trevor Noah made a comment the other day about, why Finnish people don't have problems because everybody there is Finnish. I want to tell Trevor Noah that I was one of your first fans as far as comedian, and I watched when you did your special on Showtime, Straight Out of Africa. I forget what it was, but I went around telling everybody, yo, look at this guy. He's so intelligent. You know, he tells great jokes. I remember when he did the Japanese guy at the airport and he did the Japanese accent and he killed it. I was so disappointed when you said the stuff about the Finland, and that's why they don't have no problems. One of the men from the Young Turks, he's a young light-skinned man that they put on their show, and he has dreads, and he said the most intelligent stuff. I wish I knew his name. He comes on with Dr. Rashad Ritchie for the Young Turks every now and then. He makes an appearance, and this guy, you know, I wish I knew his name, but to describe him, he's a light-skinned gentleman with dreadlock. And God bless you, sir. What you said about that, when you said that Finland is a very small population compared to America, so what goes for Finland, who also isn't a melting pot, doesn't go for what goes for America. And Trevor Noah, you disappointed me, brother. I'll leave it at that. You know, to me, it was a mistake, but I also know human beings make mistakes. You shouldn't have said that, in my opinion. You know, it's your boy Spankdog. That's the rundown on the NBA. I'ma holla at you later. Much love.